That's behind me. I just realized I got clothes waiting right here to be folded. All my books are just kind of all over the place. Oh, I'm live. I didn't realize I got live already. All right, we're in James chapter 3. I think that's what I wrote on here, James 3. I hope that's what I wrote. If not, I'll have to fix it later. We're in James chapter 3. My brother, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. For we, and he's not talking about you teachers who are out there teaching math and science and English and history, or attempting to teach math and science and English and history. Because when you got schools that are just bad, guess what? You don't get to teach. My wife is learning that because of the school she has is just bad. You just got a lot of bad kids there. It's like they put them there purposely to test teachers and see if they want to continue on. Yeah, my wife would like to continue on, but with a school that's not so bad. Knowing that you will receive stricter judgment. He's talking about teachers of the law, teachers of the Bible, teachers of the Word of God. For we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle the whole body. Indeed, we put bits in horses' mouths, and a bit is what to keep them from that's how you guide them and how you force them to do things, that they may obey us, just like a mask being put in someone's face so that they will obey the government. And we turn their whole body. I could go a whole day on just that alone. Look also at ships, although they are so large and are driven by fierce winds, they are turned by a very small rudder wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. You ever look at a boat, even the big ships that we have today, like think of an aircraft carrier. Now, yes, granted, for us, the aircraft carrier rudder is probably as tall, if not taller than our own, and than our own house. But if this is the size of the aircraft carrier, this is the size. I need something really small. I'll use this piece of paper. If this is the size of the aircraft carrier, this is still too big. Let's use this one then. This is the size of the rudder. That's all it needs. Doesn't need a big, extravagant, giant size. Doesn't need to be this big to make a turn. See how a great forest, a little fire kindles. Just a little fire. If you have a fire in the woods and you're cooking in the campground, number one, you're supposed to put rocks around it to keep it from spreading out this way, to keep it from burning up. The rocks also produce heat, which helps keep you warm if you're camping out there. That's why they always started building up rocks and then doing that. A lot of people don't know that. But rocks will keep the heat for a little bit longer as the fire goes down. But it also helps keep the fire from spreading this way on the ground to burning up land. You're supposed to douse the fire completely out before you leave the campground. Make sure it's completely gone, because just if a little spark stays up and you don't realize it, it could start a whole forest fire if it just pops just right. That's why I said a little fire kindles. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is also set among our members that it defiles the whole body. Remember, Jesus said, it's not what you take in your body that defiles you, it's what you speak out of your mouth that defiles you. And sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell. My former pastor, Dick Braswell, he said something many years back. I forgot exactly how he said it, so I'm not quoting him 100%, but I remember part of it. What you say right now is still being said out there in the atmosphere. So if you damn someone to hell, that word is still being spoken for that person in their life today. And I'm guilty of that, and I've been forgiven of it. But I have been guilty of that too. We just have to be forgiven and then ask God to let our new words for that person be spoken, which is a blessing for them. To every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue. It is unruly, evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men. And there's a whole bit. I could go a whole day with that one too, because there's pastors who do that. There's pastors' wives who do that. I've seen it on Facebook. And just because you're typing it doesn't mean you're not saying it. That's why you don't see me on Facebook that much anymore, because I don't want to say something that I may regret later on. Who has been made in the what's that word? What? No, some of these words I think were made up by people. They're not actual words. Simulate. It should be simulate, but it says similitude. Similitude. Quality of state of being similar to something. Just say that then. Similar to God, who have been made in the similarity of God. In other words, similitude, meaning that we were made in his image, but yet we're not doing the right thing of his image. Of the same mouth proceed blessings and cursing. My brother, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? In a matter of speaking, if it's been poisoned, yes, it can, but not at the same time. That's what he's trying to say. Can it be done at the same time? Can this water right here, which is my seltzer, no sugar, no calorie lime, pretty decent, has just a little hint of lime in it. I drink it and I feel refreshed. If I drink it again right now, would I feel unrefreshed? Will I think it's better tasting? No, it'd have to sit for about 7 or 8 days, probably longer than that, because I've actually picked up some 7 or 8 days later and still felt good. It wasn't cold, but so it can't get like drink it now and drink it again a few minutes later and it'd be poisoned. I mean, unless someone actually poisoned it. I'm actually out now. Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives? Have you ever picked an apple off an orange tree? Have you ever picked blackberries off a blueberry tree? I can almost say yes to that one, to be honest with you. It wasn't actually on the blueberry tree, but blackberry bushes had crawled up into the blueberry tree, and it looked like you were picking blackberries off a blueberry tree. But the truth of the fact was, it was the vines from the blackberries crawling into the blueberry bush, or the blueberry. It was actually a blueberry bush. And they got mixed together. In other words, and they were both wild. It was wild blueberry bush and wild blackberries, and wild blackberries just growing together, where the bears were eating them up in Maine. Can a fig tree, my brother, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus, no spring yields up both salt water and fresh. Now, that I have never seen. We've had spring water. Up in Connecticut, we had a place where we can get spring water all the time. They actually had a tap in it, so you could just. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show both by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy, woo, come on. I know you ministers out there that do this. If you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. I've had ministers that I've served under, not Pastor Braswell. I don't think he's ever said anything like this that I know of. Not all the years I served under him, but others that I've served under were envious of other ministers who had big houses and big cars and big churches. The wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. This true wisdom from God comes from above. Remember what Peter, after he after he said that Jesus was the Son of the living God, the Christ, he said, God from heaven, God, our Father, our Father from heaven gave you this information. They can't come from man. He's talking about this wisdom being the envy, bitter envy, and self-seeking in your hearts. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. That's why there are churches that are failing. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is shown in peace by those who make peace. That's why I've tried to explain to one of my neighbors the reason why I go over next door where these criminals are trying to do criminal activity is because I'm trying to make peace. Right now, I think we got it again, at least for a while. One of them were arrested, and the place he was staying, this trashy old trailer, is now gone. Because we prayed about it. We try to speak to them. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. The old saying is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And sometimes you can't teach people the word of God because they just don't want to listen. In my final exam or my final thesis or whatever you want to call it, it's actually a presentation. I started as a thesis in order to make the presentation better. I said something to that effect. That we're in a society that hears what Hollywood and news and the Hollywood and TV shows can teach them, and what fake life is makes it more appealing to them than real life. They try to teach them that homosexuality is good when it's actually a sin. We read that in Romans and Hebrews. We read it in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. It's a sin. Where marrying 5 or 6 women or having a sexual relation with a woman that's not your wife is okay to do. Where hopping bars and touching girls and girls touching guys is okay to do. We're going out there and stealing is okay to do. And we got video games, Grand Theft Auto. Some kids can play that game all day long and not see a thing. Then you got others who try to imitate it. What do you think we got those kids that went into the theater dressed up as half Doom and half Joker walking into the theater, shooting up the theater? It's because we show this. It's because we have a lion tongue burning out there that we're not stopping. It's because Christians aren't getting up off their asses. And I'm going to point blank tell y'all, you're not getting off your ass, and you're not getting up there and telling people you need to shut up. We're the society, not you. We're in a post-Christian and anti-society. No more Christians is wanted in this country. And it's not that the Muslims are trying to get rid of us. They don't even have to work on it. It's Hollywood. It's video games. It's Hollywood. It's the media. It's social media. We got people saying, hey, try this trick. And they put a Tide pod in their mouth and try to suck on it. Then they wonder why the kids are going into hospitals for all these things. And then you have the government that just spits lies left and right. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. That wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic. Get out there. Get off your butts. Like, share, subscribe. Yes, I'll stop wearing my comfortable shirt. Maybe. Like, share, subscribe. God be with you.